Oh, yeah. Don't you worry about a thing. Welcome back, everybody. I'm speaking once again through the mask here at 78.6 FM Yomaton. And, tonight we're still doing some more positive vibes. Of course, this is Positive Vibes with Winsome. Last couple of weeks, of course, week number one, we talked about gratitude. Last week, we talked about self motivation. And this week, we're going to talk about finding your purpose. A lot of people, they say that, right? And it's like, I'm finding my purpose. I'm searching. I'm trying to figure out what my why is. The one thing I can already start off the show by saying is your purpose and your why, right? So your purpose, you're not going to find your purpose by thinking about it all the time and drowning your mind and stressing yourself out trying to figure it out. It doesn't happen that way. Your purpose isn't something that you force. Your purpose is something that you feel. Your purpose is something not in your brain that you're rattling around and fighting yourself and struggling with. Your purpose is what you feel in your heart. You know. It's what lights you up. It's what wakes you up. It's when you roll off that pillow and you put those 2 feet on the ground, you're like, yo, this is why. That's why people always tie those two together, which is funny because even when you're going through and you're looking up purpose, you'll always see your why is accompanied by it, right? So it's not just one, it's both. You have to know not just what your purpose is, but you got to know why do you do what you do, right? So it's a really fun topic to talk about this week, and I'm really excited to jump into it. It's been a crazy week, man. Coming back, we got a lot of different things going on around the island, a lot of different weathers. Rained the last weekend a little bit yesterday, but today is pretty nice outside. It's a little overcast and still a lot of things we can see with this weather. Coming in, all the rules, even a radio station when we walk in now. We got to wear a mask on the microphone. We got to wash our hands. We got to check our temperature. We got to do everything to make sure that we're taking care of each other, right? And you ask the question, why are they doing that? What's the purpose of, you like those two words, right? What's the purpose of them doing this? We'll be coming in, they just washing their hands and wiping this because there's an end game, right? There's a question. Why are we doing it? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose of this? At the end of the day, there's an end game. It's to keep each other healthy. It's to keep the show going. It's so that the next couple of weeks, we can keep somebody behind this microphone and not spread germs and have us where we have to stop and limit the productivity of this show. So understanding your purpose is just like understanding the purpose of anything, understanding your why. Had a couple of conversations with some good friends the last couple of weeks, and one of those led me to tell him, I said, sometimes, man, life is tough, right? Life is 100% tough. But the most frustrated man on earth, right? And it's funny, listen to this. The most frustrated man on earth is not the poorest, not someone who doesn't have money. The most frustrated man on earth is not someone who is like unconditionally miserable. You know what it is? The most frustrated man on earth or woman is someone without a purpose, someone who doesn't know why they do, what drives them, what sparks them, right? So let me ask you, what is your purpose? It's funny, I spent a couple of years overseas now. I started off in the stateside. 17 years in the previous career, 17 years in one job, never traveled, never really saw much, with the exception of a year, 6 months at a time, but really collectively, I really just stayed stateside for 17 years of my career. Then, of course, as life unravels, I took a leap of faith. And I had to. I was so frustrated with where I was and what I was doing, and it just seemed like everything was so repetitious. I didn't really have a why. So I said, let me do something different. Let me just spice things up a little bit. Let me just fire myself up. So I took a leap of faith. And I volunteered to go, and the first place I went was Kosovo, right? So I did a whole year. Didn't even want to go. I didn't Google it. I didn't do any research. I just said, let's go. This is an opportunity. This is something different. I'm trying to reignite that flame, right? That's inside of me. I'm trying to spark something. So I need to do something different. And so I did. And I jumped out there, and the opportunities, the people I met, the relationships, the networking, it was amazing. The responsibilities, it was scary at times, very scary. And the one thing I don't tell a lot of people is I invested everything. I gambled everything to close up shop and to close my previous chapter of my life. I literally can remember stepping on ground and knowing that I only had control really what was ever in my pocket and what was ever in that bag. It's time to go, right? Have you ever heard anybody say that? I'm taking such a leap of faith that whatever happens next, this is going to spark my next chapter, period. I have faith in myself that I'm going to be strong enough to get through whatever is coming. I didn't care. And sometimes you got to do that. Some of us, we go through things without a purpose, without a why. So if something punches in the chest, we crumble like paper, right? Crumble like toilet paper. Just no resistance, no fight, no nothing inside. Nothing to spark a flame to fight back when life punches us in the chest. So I ask you, what drives you? So I told you a few minutes ago that I had that conversation with a friend. You know, we were talking, came to my office, he sat down, and I said, let me ask you this, man. So you feel like quitting, right? You feel like things are just horrible right now, right? Yeah, man, it's just bad. Things ain't great, blah, blah, blah. Spelled it all out for me. And I said, okay, let me ask you this. Why did you start? Think about it. Right now in this chapter of your life, no matter what's going on around you, no matter what's going on with other people, you have your own story. You have your own chapters unveiling, pages turning every day. So when you feel like quitting, even when you don't know why you're fighting, remember why you started on whatever journey, whatever path, whatever decision, whatever drive you had. Remember why you started in that direction. Why'd you start that career? Why'd you start taking classes? Why'd you start working out, right? Some people just get hit with life and they just want to stop everything because they forget why they started. This is 78.6 FM Positive Vibes with Winston. Right now we're talking about finding your purpose. And I'm going to tie in there, finding your purpose and your why, right? So a lot of times we get to moving and we don't know why we do what we do. Is it for you? Is it for somebody you love? Is it for your family? Somebody who said you couldn't do it? Were you driven by ambition? Were you driven by pain? What started your journey? That's the question. Why? Why are you doing it right now? Is it because your family's struggling and you want to be able to take care of them? Is it because someone who used to take care of you is struggling, so you want to be able to take care of them? What is your why? Why are you doing it? Is it because you had a vision board, right? You had an imagination that said, hey, I know where I want to be. This is what I want to be and who I want to be. So I'm fighting towards that, right? And this is what my fight's going to be. I'm putting everything I got into that. You know what happens to those people who only have one vision? And I'm going to tell you why I tell folks, never limit yourself to one hustle. Do you know what happens to people who only have one dream, one vision? If it doesn't work out, they're lost. They're lost. I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect marriage. I have routine. I go home, I go to work, I work out, I go home, I go to work, I work out. In between there, I eat and sleep, but it's consistent. This is my routine. I got a plan. It works out. Bam. What about when the gym closes because of COVID? What about when the spouse decides to leave because they're fed up? What happens to that plan? What happens to that person? Because they had everything invested in their routine. There is no growth. There is no challenge. There is nothing that made them challenge themselves. There is no evolving as a person. So when you think about it, just take a second. What is my why? Why am I doing this? What is my end game? Am I content with where I'm at? Am I fighting to be more? And if you're really asking yourself that question, if you really are trying to be different and you're trying to grow, that should be something every day, every week, you do a quick reflection. Remember we talked about it last week. If you know better, you know you can do more, then do better and do more. Fight for it. Fight for your purpose and your why. What is your goal? What is your personal dream? What are you trying to do? You. And the funny thing is, this is a conversation you're having with yourself. These are your thoughts. This is what you're writing down. You're not going to do it. You won't write your purpose down. Write your why down. And like I told you, your purpose isn't going to just be something that you stress yourself over. That's what your why is. Your why is, why am I doing this? Why do I want to be a doctor? Why do I want to be a lawyer? What am I doing it to help people? Am I doing it because I always wanted to do something that somebody else wasn't really good at and it messed up my path, but I want to do better and help other people to keep them from going through? I mean, that's the kind of questions. So do you talk through those things to yourself? And if you're not comfortable talking to yourself, it feels weird, talk to somebody you trust. Do you tell them what your dreams are? Do you share your dream? A lot of people don't. It's yours, right? So I don't want to share this with anybody. And in some careers, it's difficult to share your dream because it's people stepping on people to get to their own dream, right? But I'll tell you what I do. I find that circle that we have a shared vision, right? That I trust these people with my vision, right? You got to find that guy or girl that you know you can say, hey, my mind's been racing about something and I need to put this out there real quick because I think this is what I want to push for, but I'm not sure, right? Get that feedback from somebody you trust to say, hey, man, regardless, man, I got you. If it works out, it does, and I support you. And somebody wise enough to tell you, hey, man, don't just limit yourself there, right? Sounds good to start at this level, but what's next? Find those people. I talked about this last week is you show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. You show me where you go and I'll show you who you are. You show me what you do and I'll show you who you are, because all of that put together is your character, your personality, and who you are as a person. So you tie that in. What is my character, personality, and who I am as a person, Winston? What does that have to do with my why and my what I'm trying to accomplish, right? What is that? Well, I'm going to tell you, you can't get there alone. You can't. You know, the old sayings, it takes a tribe, it takes a family, it takes an army, right? It takes more than just you sometimes. And it doesn't mean somebody you have to talk to every day. Reading books, listening to podcasts, paying attention to what's going on around you, right? Taking it all in, interpreting it, and building a better version of yourself based on all the limitations of others. There's so much. I'm so happy to talk about this today. Finding your purpose. Why do you do what you do? Who are you trying to be? And if you're young, you have so much time. But the one thing I will tell you is you only have one life. You only have one life, and tomorrow's not guaranteed to nobody. So are you giving everything you have to that day, to that week, to that month? We talked about this last week, right? If you're giving everything you have to your day and you're taking control of your day, you're taking control of your life. It starts when you wake up and you remind yourself, why do I do what I'm doing? What is my purpose? What am I trying to accomplish in life? I see where I'm at. So take a look at yourself. Have those tough conversations with yourself first, because it's going to sound crazy coming out your mouth if you don't have a plan and you're trying to explain it to somebody, but you never took the time to come up with a plan with actual organized thoughts. You're scrambled. What I say a few minutes ago, the most frustrated man, the most frustrated woman is someone without a purpose, without goals, without a vision, that can't see where they're going or how they got to where they're at. And it's tough. I told you I took a leap of faith to get started, because no matter how great my world was, no matter how happy I was, at the end of the day, I really was unhappy because I was content. I wasn't challenging myself. I was comfortable. And I was limiting myself to one hustle. I had that life. I had that work, gym, home, sleep. Work, gym, home, sleep. It was no change in the routine. It was no switching it up. It was consistently the same. And in my mind and in my heart, I wasn't happy. So I started doing more. I started challenging myself. I started putting myself in the deep end of the water. And we're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. Throw yourself in the deep end, because sometimes that might be the only way you can find out if you can swim. We'll be back after the break. We back. Positive vibes with Winsome. 78.6 FM Yomaton. We are talking about finding your purpose and your why. Before the break, we talked about literally throwing yourself in the deep end of life, right? So comfortable swimming on the shallow ends of life that we don't really test ourselves and push ourselves past our own thresholds. So a lot of us, we're scared, man. That's the biggest thing that keeps people from finding their purpose, is because they're scared of what they're capable of or incapable of doing. Try to find out. Don't limit yourself based on information you don't even have a factual answer for, right? You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know. And I'm not saying, there's a lot of great speakers who said this before me. You don't know what you're capable of until you put yourself to the test, till you put yourself in the fire, till you throw yourself in the water. What does that mean? Everybody pictures, right? If you weren't a naturally born swimming individual, which hopefully none of you are, that means you're amazing. You probably are. Somebody just throw you in the pool and you automatically start swimming, you automatically know what to do? No. You get thrown in the pool, you've been probably paying attention to some mechanics of other people swimming and jumping in the water, and you get thrown in, it's your turn. What do? Do you sink or swim? Well, guess what? You won't know. Think about when you learned how to swim, right? Let me tell you a quick story. I learned how to swim watching other people. I'm still learning. Trust me, I'm an adult. 41 years old, still learning how to swim. So when I was a kid, I used to know how to bounce up from the bottom because I watched other little kids do it when they were learning, right? They go to the bottom of the water, bounce up, hang on to the side, right? I know how to dog paddle. I know how to go ahead and do the floats underwater. But I watched other people. And I knew what my body automatically could and couldn't do. And I said, let me try it. You heard that, right? Let me try it. So I started in the shallow end. I got to the deep end, wasn't happy because I didn't know if I was going to make it. So I went right back to the shallow end. And I stayed there. 41 years old, I've never been back to the deep end. I always stayed to where I can feel the water up around my neck. If it got any higher than that, I'm getting right back into the shallow side, right? That's what we do as a people, as a race, as a human race. We literally always focus on the shallow end first. We never truly throw ourselves in the deep end and test ourselves unless we're forced to. And what's the thing that happens, right? Is you go through something in life and you find out that you are stronger than you realized you were. You're stronger than you thought you were. Yeah, life punched you in the chest. You didn't realize you can do something. You didn't realize you're capable of it. But I'm going to tell you, you find out that you survived it. And you're stronger than you thought you were. And that's what happens to a lot of us. We don't get a chance. We don't try. We don't know what we're capable of. We can't find out our why or what we're doing if we don't test ourselves to see what our maximum ability are or is as humans. So think about this. I told you to have that tough conversation. What is it that you're putting off right now? Travel? Because you can't go anywhere because of COVID. Doesn't that suck? You might have been that person been dreaming about traveling all your life, been talking about all the places you want to go, procrastinated the entire time about doing the smallest things. I got a story for that. Procrastinated. And then when it was time to even consider traveling, what happens? We can't. Doesn't that suck? But that's life. Somebody said, hey man, Winsome, I want to see, named off 7 different places. And you're talking about their purpose, right? I want to see Australia and Germany and Hawaii, named off like 10 places. Egypt. And I said, oh, cool, man, cool. Where else? He said, and Bora Bora and the Maldives. I mean, he just named off and rattled off good places. He said, yeah, man, I'm probably going to go like around August. And I was like, hey, that is awesome. Cool. So you ready for your trip? You looked up tickets? Yeah, I looked up tickets. I know some dates. Oh, cool, man. So, you get your passport? Skirt. What I talk about, what we've been saying, no passport. You can have all these dreams, but that's all they'll be if you don't take that first step to make them reality. The littlest thing, right? So if you've been putting off travel, for example, and you want to go different places, what's the action steps to get there? 1, I want to be in shape. I want to be in shape. I want to be swole. I want to be monstrous. All right, cool, man. Yeah, I want to get in the gym. I want to go 7 times a day or 7 times a week. Hey, man, that is amazing. Cool. I want to have this body right here showing you pictures, right? Hey, that's beautiful, man. Okay, cool. So what you going to do? Yeah, man, I'm probably going to start going, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so did you pick a day? Have you walked in the gym? Have you got a personal trainer? Did you come up with a workout plan? Did you think about how you're going to get from A to Z, or are you just talking about it? It's crazy taking that first step. Hey, Winston, hey, man, I want to do A, B, C, and D. Cool. Did you pick up the phone and call somebody to find out what you need to do first? You see where I'm going with this? 3 different scenarios I just gave you, and you will never get past the first step if you don't reach for it. Jump to it. Throw yourself in the water. Throw yourself in there and see what happens. There's a lost art. I was telling one of my other buddies about this yesterday. There's a lost art in the world today because we're so focused on social media, so focused on what's going on the news, right? There's a lost art that's just been missing. Picking up the phone. What is that? The phone? Not texting, not doing some messenger. No, picking up the phone. Voice to voice from people. We're here in Japan. A lot of us have family that are all over the world, right? Voice to voice, just having a real conversation, getting some real answers. This is what we don't do anymore. We wait. We're so used to, if we don't get a fast answer from the internet, we're willing to wait forever to get it. Sometimes no follow-up. We just wait for a response. What about picking up the phone? What about being aggressive about what you really want? So I promised you I'll talk about something else in this section too, right? Throwing yourself in the deep end. And to find your why, to find your purpose, stop limiting yourself to one hustle. Oh, I've been waiting to say this for 3 weeks. Everyone is limiting themselves to one hustle. That's how you get stuck in there. That's how you get stuck in work, home, gym, sleep, work, home, gym, sleep. It's because you've been limiting yourself to just one hustle. And what does hustle mean? I'll tell you. 78.6 FM, Yomaton. This is Positive Vibes with Winsome. We're talking about not limiting yourself to one hustle, finding your purpose. And I'll tie it in there, finding your why. So what do you want to do? What do you enjoy doing? So people say, I don't like my job. I don't like this career. You signed up for it. Why did you start? Maybe you didn't pick this specific career, but this is what you wanted to do. Why was that? And if your why doesn't exist anymore, your original why, what is your why now? Right? I wanted to get away from the United States. Okay, you've done that. What are you doing now? What's next? Did you evolve? Did you grow? Did you have a plan? No, a lot of people are still stuck in that work, home, gym, sleep, or gym, work, home, sleep, whatever. What is it? What else? I love this. I'll tell you how this started. We got about 4.5 minutes before the break. So I was doing a lot of counseling friends, and everyone had a lot of issues. I'm going from Kosovo to Greenland. And if you're not familiar with Greenland, it's what they call 4 months of darkness, right? And it's not just darkness. It's 4 months of no sun, vitamin D deficiency, depression, stress, anxiety, being separated from normal cities. You're stuck on a small frozen island. Literally, I was the only person I knew that didn't drink or smoke the entire time. The only person that didn't drink or smoke my entire time. So I'm sitting there and I would listen to my friends. Hey, man, what's going on? And I listen to some, I'd give them some advice. I give them some guidance. Hey, man, I'm from the outside looking in because I'm not out there, but I'll tell you what I would do, right? And I started texting them. And I'm realizing that these texts are becoming messages, positive messages. There's a radio station sitting right there in Greenland, a booth that wasn't being used. And I said, instead of giving 5, 6 people this message, let me do this on the radio. Let me communicate these same messages, because if they're feeling this way, if they're down, then how about we turn this into something bigger? And anybody else who's feeling this pain, we can help them through it too, right? I didn't know what my purpose was in Greenland. Like I told you, I was taking a leap of faith just to get away from the United States, to travel and see something new. And I got there and I realized that I was different and I needed to be different. And I was what was needed at that time. And I appreciated it and I enjoyed it and I loved it. I relished in it. I was like, this is what I love this. Being positive all the time. I was the guy, everybody else having a bad mood, they knew they can come to me and I'd be that ray of sunshine, right? Hugs all the time. You talk to some friends that are with me in Greenland, they'll tell you, yeah, man, do always give me a hug. No matter what, I could be having a horrible day. They knew they can come to me, right? Get a big hug and some positive information, positive affirmation if needed. So what happened? That went from doing a radio show to sending out messenger to large groups. Positive vibes, still standing. I took a leap of faith. I'm still here. I'm still moving forward. You can too. That was my purpose at the time. We're still moving and we can move together. We're still standing. Let's keep it going, right? So now I get here. Didn't know my purpose, didn't know my why in Okinawa. I'm sitting there, and the first 3 months I was like, what am I doing here? Everything was so new. And then COVID hit, right? And then people started doing the same thing that was happening in Greenland. My door, walking in the office, talking, the same type messages. Wow. So now I realize the purpose of why I went through the 4 months of darkness, right? Now 1 year, actually it's a little bit longer, -72, -52 degree wind chill. I'm telling you, it was a reason, a purpose. I was stronger from my 1 year, 365 in Greenland, so I can be here and help others navigate through whatever they were going through this dark time, right? So think about it. Even though the sun's up, it's the same conditions, limitations, kind of stuck. You can't do much. I had to grow. I had to evolve as a person, as an individual. I had to learn the lessons so I can bring them here. So I tell you that I threw myself in the deep end of life. I challenged myself. I had an imagination, I had a vision, and I wrote it all down and I went for it. I didn't let anybody tell me no. If you're going to tell me no, you're going to have to tell me no 3 times, because I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep trying, because that's my vision. That's my goal. That's my why. I'm hungry, and I was hungry to help people. So who are you? What are you hungry for? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What is your why? If you remember and understand what your why is, why you started, what you're doing, what you do, it's going to help you uncover what your purpose is. This is Positive Vibes, 78.6 FM, Yomitan. We'll win some. We'll be back right after the break. Hey, that's Happy by Pharrell. Hey guys, welcome back to 78.6 FM Yomitan. We had a request for a Maroon 5 memory. Minnie, I hear you out there. I promise you next time we come back, I didn't have time to load it up. Next time we come back on the air, I got you. So I'm gonna have that on my notes. I got your message. So we got Memory from Maroon 5 coming up next time we do Positive Vibes. That'll be next Saturday. So this is our last little segment here, man. I got a few minutes to talk to you guys about finding your purpose, finding your why. We talked about throwing ourselves in the deep end of life this last segment, right? Last piece. Coming in and we talked about, hey, man, sometimes you won't know until after the experience. Sometimes you have to go through the journey in order to realize why you went through it. And a lot of us, We don't know what our purpose is in the beginning. We won't realize what our purpose is until after something happens. Your purpose might be to help someone else. It may not be about you. That's the one thing that's hard for people to accept. Your purpose may not be about you. It may be because there's somebody watching you, somebody learning from you, somebody picking apart the good and the bad about you because it makes them a better person to peel that onion back. So your purpose is not always what you want. But if you have a why of what you're doing and why you do what you do every day, you won't even realize that your mission, your drive, your hunger, everything you go through, your story was to help somebody else get through theirs. That was your purpose. It's hard, right? It's kind of looking at a movie, and let's give you an example, like the Star Wars series, right? So Obi-Wan, right? Obi-Wan didn't have his own movie. It was all about Luke. he got one coming out. But Star Wars ended up being about Luke, and Obi's role, Obi's purpose was to train and prepare Luke Skywalker. I'm giving an example from a movie, Star Wars. It was to prepare that man for his journey. So how do you know, and when do you know what your purpose is? You won't know immediately, but you'll feel it. It'll come to you. And your why is what you do every day. Why do you get up? That's about you. That's all you, player. What drives you? We talked about self-motivation last week. What drives you to get up and put your 2 feet on the ground? If you wear a uniform, put your uniform on. If you wear civilian clothes, picking out that outfit. What they call putting that tie and that face mask together, getting that drip, right? Make it all match somehow, make it look pretty. What drives you? Why do you do what you do? The most frustrated man is a man without purpose. That happens if you don't have a why. If you don't know why you're doing it. If you don't know, anything can attack you when you don't know why you're getting through the day or why you're getting through the week. Talk to yourself. Have that tough conversation with you. 100% you won't regret it, because those are the conversations that nobody else is going to have. Who else is going to have that conversation with yourself about yourself? It's that taking that tough look in the mirror, like Michael Jackson said, I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to make a change. Michael Jackson was saying, I'm looking at myself and I'm talking to myself and I'm telling myself, I need to change right now. My life has to be different. My mind has to be different. My story has to be different. It's your turn. It's your time. You got this. You can do this. Don't be scared to take that first step and have that tough conversation. Write those things down. We talked about a vision board last week, right? About motivating yourself, having a vision board, having a vision of where you want to be and what you want to see, where you want to go. And the funniest thing is the military has mottos, like one of them is aim high, right? It's aiming high, but you fall wherever you fall. But guess what? I shot for the stars. I shot for Jupiter. I shot for Mars. I might stay on Earth, but I'm shooting for Mars. A lot of people don't say that because they're comfortable right here with both feet on Earth. Who are you? What are you shooting for? What are you fighting for? What is your why? And now you know your why. Say you walk away and you say, I know why I'm doing this. I know what motivates me every day. Don't get comfortable. What did we say 2 segments ago? Don't get comfortable, because if you're dedicated to grow and you're dedicated to evolve as a person, your why is going to change over time. Especially if you're young and you got a lot of life left. Your why is going to change, because what you might have needed in the surge you pulled from yourself to get started may not be the same why that you have as you're moving. Think about it. If you're the same person that you were when you got started on this path, then what was the purpose of going on this path? Just to be a consistently same guy? No. Or same girl? No. You want to change. You want it to be something different and do something more. So as your path moves forward, as you evolve as a person, as you grow, then your why is going to change. It may be because you have family now, right? Now my why is for them. It may be because your parents, they used to take care of you. Maybe they're getting sick and you got to take care of them. It may be because you have ambitions that require you to fight harder and work harder. It may be because there's things and places that you want to see, and you got to work towards that. Things you want to accomplish. Your why, your personal compass is going to change over time if you're dedicated to grow. Who are you? I'm going to ask you, when was the last time you had this conversation with yourself? For me, I'll be 100% honest with you. As soon as I touched down on this island, and for 3 months, I had no clue. As I was trying to absorb everything that first quarter of this world, of Okinawa, I was so all over the place. My life as I knew it, coming from a frozen island to a humid island, it was a completely different world. But I adjusted, I adapted, and I had to figure out who I wanted to be while I was here. So what did I do? I watched everything going on around me. I interpreted how I can play a role in what was going on around me and how I can make my world, my circle, my direction better. How I can get the most out of it, right? If I'm going to be here for a few years, then I want to do A, B, and C. I wrote it down. I got a surprise for you. Me talking to you right now was one of those things I wrote down. That was number 2. The first thing was I wanted a dog. I wanted the dog. I did. I got the dog right before I got on the air with you guys. So everything, if you write it down and you have a goal, you have ambition. Number 3, there's a list of places that I want to see while I'm here, right? The number 1 before everything on that list is to take care of the people that matter. Period, point blank. I'm not going to take care of me unless I know I'm taking care of others. And in return, I know that magic flows back to me. Take care of others. So if that's the top, before I even got 1, 2, and 3, if I got to take care of those around me, it hurts when I know somebody's hurting, right? It takes pain away from me when I see pain in others. It makes me have pain. I feel that. So part of my purpose, part of my why, is because I want to take care of those around me. Any way, shape, form, or fashion. And that drives me, even with school. Going into psychology or psychiatry, which is the ultimate goal for me, right? How do you do that? It's because I know what my why is. I know what my purpose is. I know what I love, what drives me, what gives me strength, what I would do for free. Understand that. What I would get up and do for free every day. That's what drives me. Wrote it all down. I look at it every day, right? That's my own. I don't got to share it with you guys, but I did because I want you to see these are real ways of navigating through and finding your purpose and finding your why. And if you don't have a why, if you don't have at least a starting and jumping off point, you're falling right back into that, the most frustrated man. Remember what I told you? It's that without a why, that without a purpose, just floating along in life and just whatever happens to him. And I'll tell you one thing, when things happen and you don't have a navigation, a place where you're trying to get to, a destination, right? It hurts harder. Because if you were already lost, that just adds on to the confusion. I told someone yesterday, I promise you these conversations really happen. I hope she's listening. I said, when you wake up and you're moving and you're getting started with your day, are you taking your day? Are you taking control of your day? Do you feel like you have control of your day? She said, no, I'm miserable. It's the same thing every day. I get home, I go to sleep for hours. I get up and I go to work. Go home, go to sleep, I eat and get up. Go. See what I'm telling you? This is her daily routine, how she felt, how she was. And I said, try something different. Instead of just waking up and rolling over and going to work, wake up, put your gym clothes on, force yourself to go work out. Oh, I don't have motivation to get up in the morning. Hey, make a playlist the night before. You won't even realize how much fun you're having. Make a playlist and say you're going to stay at the gym the duration of that playlist that you just made. Period, point blank. If you make a 30-minute playlist, you staying at the gym for 30 minutes. And what does that do, right? Let me ask you, what does getting in the gym early in the morning, getting your blood flowing do? I talked about this last week. Your body, what is it, 75% water, chemicals flowing through your body. You get those juices moving in the morning. You get your brain flowing. You taking control of your day starting off. You got your brain. Guys, it's not just a bunch of pictures making this happen. Those are chemicals flowing to make these thoughts happen, to make these feelings happen, right? We go through how many? 476 feelings a day? That's all chemicals. That's why medically they call it a chemical imbalance if somebody's going through kind of stressors, right? Certain stressors. That's because you need to take control of your day. When you start with your day, then it starts leading to taking control of your life. You take control of your life and you take control of your world. You got your why. Your purpose will show itself. But you have to start, and I'm going to go all the way back, is when you put those 2 feet on the ground to start taking control of your day. Take control of your mind. Sometimes you got to tell your mind to shut up, man. Just shut up. I don't hear you. I'm focused. You're telling me to go back to sleep. I'm telling me to go to the gym. Shut up. I'm listening to me. I'm listening to my heart, mind. Because you might be stuck on something else, but I'm moving forward. Get up out the bed. Go. You got 1,440 minutes in a day, if I'm not mistaken. What are you doing with them? We talked about this last week. Take control of your day. Go attack your day. Go attack your vision board. Every day you can be adding on something and do something. I'm going to tell you one thing. Every day, do one thing that nobody else is doing. Do that for me. We got 2 minutes left. Every day, do one thing that nobody else is doing. Why? Winston, why would I do that? Let me tell you something. If every day you personally do something that nobody else is doing, by the end of the week, you are 7 steps ahead. Come on, man. Sunday night, you're looking like, man, I took control of my world. I took control of my day. I took control of my life. I've taken control of what I can control. And I'm 7 steps ahead. I feel good about myself. I feel so good about life. Do something special every day. Do something different. So it starts with you. I told you guys this, and we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, man. Last week was motivating yourself. This week is finding your purpose, is finding your why. When you have it, understand that your why will change over time, because you will change over time. This is you. This is your movie. Lights, camera, action. Behind your screen, who are you trying to become? Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to be? It's up to you. Don't let anybody stop you. Use your fire, your passion to burn down those walls of limitation. Why? Water down. Use those tears you've cried leading up to any tears you've cried to water down the haters, man. Water down anybody that might be getting in your way. Flush them out of your life, man. You fought to get here. You're still standing. And you got a whole lot more left. Take control of your day. This is 78.6 FM Yomatan. This was Positive Vibes with Winsome. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. And thank you. I'm out.